where we pause long enough to hear the truth beneath the noise. I'm your host, Pamela J. Thomas. Before we step into today's conversation, I invite you to take a long, slow breath in through your nose and release it gently through your mouth. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw release. Let your whole body know it's safe to be here. This moment is for you. This is your sacred pause. This week, I wrap up the very first Women Don't Retire Roundtable. It's a circle of brilliant, powerful women navigating transitions, some expected, some completely life-altering. And what has struck me most is this. Every woman arrived carrying something heavy. Not just responsibilities, not just decisions, but emotional weight, a shift in identity, fatigue for caring from so many other people, a longing to slow down, a need for clarity, a desire to feel like themselves again. And I realize we're entering the holiday season carrying many of those same things. For some, this season brings warmth and joy, but for others, it brings pressure, expectations, emotional labor, and family roles that you thought you outgrew. So today, I want to talk about the sacred pause, a conscious decision to honor your capacity before the world asks for more. The pause is not laziness, it's wisdom. It's alignment. It's an act of self-preservation and self-respect. And it's essential right now because the holidays can pull on your energy in ways that leave you depleted before the new year even arrives. But it doesn't have to be that way. You're allowed to choose a different rhythm. You're allowed to protect your inner winter. You're allowed to say, not this year. This is the heart of the sacred pause. What we're talking about is a seasonal shift from doing to being, from reacting to choosing, and from surviving to listening. I want to begin by sharing something that became unmistakably clear as I closed Roundtable 1. We are entering the holiday season already full of transition, full of responsibility, full of emotions we haven't had space to name, full of roles that we're still unlearning, full of wisdom we haven't yet given ourselves permission to trust. And because of that fullness, many of us move into November and December kind of on autopilot, showing up for traditions and expectations and obligations that no longer match who we are becoming. The holidays are supposed to be a time of connection and warmth. But for so many women, especially women who have lived their lives in service to others, the season can feel like a return to old identities we've outgrown. It's almost like the world says, come back and play the part we designed for you. But for some of us, that inner voice whispers, that is not who I am anymore. This time of year has a way of tugging on the strong one, the dependable one, the one who always figures it out, even when you're exhausted, even when you're in transition, even when your spirit is asking you to slow down. And I want to say this clearly. You do not have to be everything you used to be. Not in this season, and truthfully, not anymore. This is what the sacred pause is all about. It's not a vacation. It's not a luxury. It's not a nice idea. The sacred pause is a threshold, a deliberate moment where you stop long enough to notice what your life is asking of you now. Most of us have been taught to push through, to be productive, to hold it together, to show up no matter what our bodies and our spirits are telling us. But the sacred pause says something different. Slow down enough to hear the truth, your truth, before you say yes to anything else. Because the truth is, many of us are navigating invisible transitions right now. Transitions in our identity, our work, transitions in caregiving, transitions in our relationships, transitions in our sense of purpose. And the holidays tend to magnify those transitions. You probably will find yourself a little out of place, stretched thin, like your inner world just doesn't match what's going on around you. And that's okay. You're not behind. You're not failing. You're not too emotional, too tired, or too sensitive. You're simply evolving. And evolving requires rest. It requires breath. It requires space. It requires a pause. The sacred pause is your opportunity to ask, who do I want to be in this season? Not who do they expect me to be, not who have I always been, and also not what will keep the peace. But the true questions are, what version of me feels most aligned right now? What do I actually have the capacity for? What are my desires? What am I releasing? And what am I reclaiming? When you allow yourself to pause, really pause, your body starts to speak to you. Your intuition rises, your clarity sharpens. The truth reveals itself in ways you might not have noticed while you're rushing through life. And here's the beautiful part. The sacred pause is not about withdrawing from everyone. It's only the most important thing you can do. It's about returning to yourself first. Because when you return to yourself, you can choose how you want to enter the season rather than being pulled into these automatic roles that you've outgrown. When you pause, you get to decide what gatherings nourish you, what traditions feel meaningful, what boundaries you need, what you're willing to release this year, and where your energy is truly needed. When you pause, you reclaim your power to choose instead of react. When you pause, you stop betraying your own needs for the comfort of others. When you pause, you shift from performing into presence. And here's the deeper truth. Every time a woman pauses, she begins to hear the sound of her own life again. Her breath, her longings, her clarity, her yes, her no, her becoming. So, as we move into this season, I want you to know you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to hold every tradition and every motion and every family member together. The sacred pause invites you to be honest about your capacity, boundaries, and needs. It invites you to honor your own becoming, even in a season that asks you to be everything for everyone else. And beloved, you deserve that. You deserve to enter this season with ease. You deserve to choose softness. You deserve to protect your peace. You deserve to listen to your body. You deserve to breathe. This is your moment to reclaim your rhythm. This is your moment to choose how you will show up. This is your moment to step into this season differently. Not in survival mode, not in obligation, not in old identities that no longer fit, but in alignment, in truth, in rest, in the fullness of yourself.